In a time long ago in the kingdom of Magadha, there lived a man whose heart had turned to darkness. His name was forgotten, lost in the shadows of his actions. People knew him only as Angulimala, which meant the one who wears a garland of fingers. He had vowed to kill 101 people, and with each life taken, he would cut off a thumb to add to his gruesome necklace. Angulimala had taken 100 lives already. He just wants one more to satisfy his lust. The villagers lived in fear, avoiding the path through the forest where he lurked. But one day, Gautama Buddha arrived in the town. The villagers warned him, "Don't go this way. This is an animal. This is not a man. This is not somebody who can go and give teaching or make a meditative. Just don't go because he seeks one more life, and we fear it could be yours." But Buddha, with a calmness that stirred the air, said, "If I don't go, who will? He remains unfulfilled. He just needs one more finger. Let me go." So he went. As Buddha walked the forest path, Angulimala watched from his perch on a high rock. He relished the terror his name invoked. Gautama looked at him, kept walking with a smile on his face quietly. He didn't like this. Usually, when they see him or when they hear him, people run, wanting to save their lives. He likes that. This man is just walking. Frustrated by this defiance, Angulimala leaped down. As Angulimala confronted Gautama Buddha in the forest, a tense exchange unfolded. "So you know who I am?" Buddha, continuing to walk calmly, replied, "Yes, I've heard much about you, but does that change anything?" Angulimala, puzzled by this calm retort, said, "Why do you keep walking? Can't you see I'm talking to you?" Buddha answered, "My going stopped long time ago. I have arrived. You are the one who trying to go somewhere." Angulimala, laughing mockingly, said, "You're crazy. I am standing still. You say I'm going, you're walking, and you say you're not going. What's wrong with you?" Buddha, undisturbed, explained, "Physically, I may be moving, but internally, I'm at rest. I've reached my destination within. You, however, are lost, even though you stand still. Do you seek my life? My death won't bring you peace or fulfillment." Angulimala, his voice dripping with scorn, said, "What's the point of killing you if you wish for death? Killing is only satisfying when the victim fears it. You seem ready to embrace it." Buddha calmly responded, "Think about it. You pursue a goal, but it's not bringing you peace. You're chasing an end, but do you understand why? I found my peace. If you believe taking my life will give you what you seek, then proceed." So, you say you've arrived while I'm lost. I've almost reached my goal of 101 lives. What have you achieved that I haven't? Buddha looked at him with a depth of understanding and said, "You're seeking fulfillment in taking lives, but I have found it in saving them. You can take my life if you believe it will complete your quest, but know this: true fulfillment lies in healing, not in harming." Angulimala, grappling with a storm of emotions, found himself at a crossroads. His life of violence and Buddha's words of peace clashed within him, igniting a battle between his past and the possibility of a new path. Angulimala, having embraced a new path, became a devoted disciple of Gautama Buddha. Buddha then gave him a significant challenge. He told Angulimala, "You must return to the town where you caused so much pain. You took the lives of 100 people there, and in a small town that means almost every family has been touched by your actions. So Buddha transformed Angulimala into a monk. In Buddha's tradition, monks were called bhikkhus, which means beggars. He provided Angulimala with a simple robe and a begging bowl, symbols of his new life. With a heavy heart, Angulimala entered the town as a monk. The townspeople, recognizing him, were filled with fear and confusion. They couldn't understand why this man, who had brought them so much pain, had returned. They gathered on their terraces, watching him warily, wondering what his intentions were. As Angulimala walked through the streets, some, overwhelmed by their grief and anger, began to throw stones at him. Each family had lost someone to him, and their pain was still raw. Angulimala, now on a path of peace, accepted this with humility, continuing his walk through the town despite the pain and the bleeding wounds from the stones. The situation escalated, with more people joining in the stone throwing. That's when Gautama Buddha intervened. He stepped into the midst of the chaos and called for the people to stop. He addressed the crowd, his voice firm yet compassionate. This man before you is no longer the same person who brought you suffering. He is an extension of my teachings now. When you throw stones at him, you are throwing stones at the path of redemption he has chosen. He has come to realize the gravity of his actions and is seeking to make amends. It's not just to harm him now when he has chosen a path of transformation and repentance. The crowd, confronted with Buddha's words, began to disperse, their anger giving way to reflection. They saw in Angulimala not just the man who had wronged them, but a man who was sincerely striving to change. Angulimala, despite the physical and emotional pain, continued his journey as a monk. He traveled throughout the country, sharing Buddha's teachings, his own story serving as a powerful testament to the possibility of redemption and the transformative power of compassion and understanding. His journey from a feared criminal to a revered disciple became a source of inspiration, showing that even those who have strayed far from the path can find their way back to peace and righteousness. In the end, true fulfillment doesn't come from what we gather around us, but from what we cultivate within us. It's not about chasing more money, power, or possessions. It's about finding peace and contentment in our hearts, just like Angulimala learned that his happiness wasn't in taking another life, but in finding kindness and understanding within himself. This story is a beacon of hope, showing us that no matter how lost we might feel, there's always a path to a better place. It's never too late to change, to turn away from what hurts us and others, and to walk towards a life of meaning and peace. The greatest journey we can take is the one that leads us back to our true selves, to the goodness and light that lives in each of us. That's where real happiness and fulfillment are found, not in the world outside, but in the quiet, steady glow of our own hearts.